Okay, so hello everybody. I'm Shaso. I'm a professional base builder for Dark Unicorns, and yeah, I just wanted to do some content about the new update, Th14 update, and yeah, I will have a look for the first time on sneak peek number 4, the pets for heroes. For that, I will be watching Itsu's video about it because I think he's a very good good player, and he definitely knows a lot about it, probably, or I expect that he knows maybe some, or maybe he has some ideas about how to use them. So that's why I'm watching his video. So this will be in the background, and I will just kind of react to it. But I don't really like the term reacting, but I just want to give you my thoughts about it. And yeah, let's give it a go.
Hey Clashers, and welcome back to another video. And
Yeah,
today
yeah,
we
thank
have
you,
sneak
welcome.
peek number 4 on our hands,
Okay.
and this is going to bring us a new building. Obviously, this new building is going to bring us way more, but let's take a look at that because this is going to be the pet house. In the pet house, you can unlock different pets. Every single level of the pet house is going to unlock a new pet, which then you can use in combination with your heroes. But
We have a unicorn pet.
always remember,
That's
every
insane.
single pet can be only used with one
Oh my god, we have a unicorn pet. That's
hero
insane.
in one battle, which means obviously in
Okay.
between of attacks you can switch them depending on your strategy which you're about to use. But well, it is obviously for every single strategy a different combination is needed. I think this
That's
is a new cool feature
a lot
which
of work.
was not in Clash of Clans just yet, and I think the new pets are going to be awesome. But let's start from the beginning. So let's start with the level 1. With the level 1 pet, which is going to be unlocked in the pet house. We're going to talk about Lassie. Lassie is going to be kind of like a dog, which is going to follow his hero and going to attack with him the next building pretty much. And this is pretty strong, especially with the Royal Champion, because Lassie can jump over walls and be pretty annoying to those
Okay.
enemy defenses. Obviously, Lassie is going to attack whatever is close to her or him. I don't even know, but the thing is that
It's
attacking
kinda OP.
fresh buildings like Elixir Collector, gold mines, things like that as well. Obviously, in this example,
Okay.
there's just like defenses.
Okay, so this basically is nothing else than just like adding damage to your queen or like whatever, but it can also tank, so it's probably pretty nice with RC. Because if it tanks for the RC, you can do a lot more with it. But I think this is very risky because you can lure CC. Maybe this can be a strategy to lure CC, but also you can like the pet can get targeted by heroes pretty easily and get taken out because I think they don't really switch targets. They always attack the target of the hero. No? Okay, the trust hound to ever roam the village proper. Lassie chases enemy with 100 whatever. Lassie can jump over walls to attack targets on the other side. Okay, that's it. That's not bad. That's like basically pretty strong for hybrid attacks, for queen charges. Maybe Warden War can be interesting, but at the same time you have to be careful with CC range. You don't really want to lure a you don't want to lure a hound on your Warden or whatever. But this can also tank. Maybe CC for a while, tank super minions, but I think super minions will be dead anyways after this update. So this is not too bad. It adds something nice,
So
but
that's
let's
how
see
it
what the other
works.
pets
But
do.
one thing which I do not
Oh,
like
we have
about
10
pets
levels.
are their costs. They are incredible.
Okay, that's
expensive.
whatever.
Take a look at that.
Then.
It is incredible.
I haven't really I didn't understand if you have to use like 4 different pets. Okay, if you can use the same pet 4
Dark
times.
Elixir, which
I'm
you
pretty
need
sure I
to
will
upgrade them. The max
see that
level
later.
is going to be 10, and they're pretty strong
Okay,
right there.
but I
you
can skip this.
Or they're going to be strong. The next thing which is going to be is the Electro Owl. And I think you remember this
Electro
one from
Owl.
the Hammer Jam video because it was like a small teaser in there. And the Electro
What? Electro attacks bounce to a nearby target. That is can be insanely strong depending on the damage. Damage per second 100 depends on the hit rate and the distance.
Electro Owl is
but I'm pretty
actually
sure he
pretty
will
cool.
show it very
So
soon.
what the
So
Electro
let's see.
Owl does, it's
Oh, it's kind of like
kinda
next to
Dragon
it's next
in
to the queen.
less effective, I guess, because the Electro Owl can use chain lightnings as well, but it's only hitting up to 2 buildings. But
Up
the
to
same
2
rule
buildings,
applies
okay.
to as for the Electro
And
Dragon
it's
chains,
not
because
really a
this
lot of
means
damage.
if there's a 1 tile gap in between of the 2 buildings,
Okay.
this means it works. If there's
This is basically like in E-Drag. In a small E-Drag going with your queen. Or like whatever. Or with your... yeah, but what's the range of it actually? Does it have range? Is it the same with Warden Walk, for example? I'm thinking about like Warden Walk when you can maybe... This could speed up things a lot because like it's doing kind of 300 damage per second if every lightning strike does the same damage, or like every chain lightning. And I think the max damage for it is 150.
there's 2 tiles, this means it won't work. So always remember.
Okay, so max damage per 145, okay. So that's like, if that's just always the same, this thing does like, I don't know, 435 damage. No, 400 and, no, my math, sorry. Yeah, 435. So, this is actually quite strong. I mean, this is really, really strong. This is like, I don't know, this is a sea level strong.
How you use your owl, and this one is going to be.
So this is definitely better than the other one, I think. It doesn't really tank for the queen or so, and you can lure CC maybe with the dog, but I'm pretty sure this is stronger, especially with Warden Walks or whatever. Or like when you have this in your Lalo, so this can maybe, like the Electro Owl can, I mean, the Electro Owl will target what the Warden targets. The Warden will target what the Loons target. So maybe you get some bounces on a hero, but I'm not sure if you can take out CC with it. That would be very, very strong. But air skeletons will take a huge hit. Like this is basically completely negating the additional skelly trap we have, because like if this hits twice, it does like 6 targets because it's like 2 lightnings, right? So it's up to, or is it up to 2 targets? I'm not completely sure, but this will be very strong against the new skelly trap.
Yet again, I have to say, I love the concept. I love the new pets, but the costs are pretty crazy. This is the level 10 owl, which you can see right now on your screen with all of the stats, and that's going to be a pretty beastie owl right there.
But this looks
quite strong. The next one is going to be my favorite. I have to say, that's my favorite. It looks cool. It is insane how much power this pet has.
Okay. Deals extra damage to walls. That's the spam pet. It has a lot of HP. It does damage to walls. That's the spam pet for sure. Within 7 tiles of hero, so that's like a little bit more than queen range. Splash damage, that's quite strong, and 24 movement speed, that's quite fast as well. So these things are actually quite strong. Besides the first one, that's not so strong.
Works. So
but it's basically a wall breaker. But how does it work to... The question is, how does it work on these open wall gaps? Kinda.
A little bit less hit points, but at the same time, there's a multiplier.
But this is very, very nice for charging, basically. You can charge for free.
And this means
and
especially
you can do very, very nice wall breaks with it.
They love to be stuck on walls, especially the king or the queen. This can be easily countered now. You will never ever have the queen again being stuck inside the base, hitting random walls, because this yak is going to follow.
With healers, can they actually be targeted by healers?
So this
because the problem I see is, what if the healers switch to the yak? Then it's completely useless. Not useless, but it can be quite bad.
Powerful boost.
So we have to see how it works with healers.
Especially air. If you would like to see some more better combinations, make sure to watch till the end, because I'm going to show you guys the best head combination which is out there at the moment.
Okay.
But this is the upgrade cost yet again for the Mighty Yak. It is yet again.
But I mean, the thing is, like, you can use every pet on the heroes, right? So you have like, you will be used to having like Electro Owl on your RC, so you always like you can kind of how do you say that? You can get used to it and have your standard combinations, but you always have 4 of them. That's very, very strong.
Expensive.
That's a lot. Like, I would say one of these pets is probably worth around, let's say, at least 20 troops. So maybe a little bit more sometimes. So the thing is, we get 80 troop space
And
with
I have
these
no
pets, if I'm correct with my calculation. And let's say I'm not correct and it's like 10 worth 10 troops. But this is definitely more than 10 troops because like a super giant is 10 troops and he has less HP and doesn't do that much damage, so yeah, whatever. So then it's 40 and that's a lot. That's really a lot.
Has, like, where those dark elixirs should come from. I already suggested that maybe you could use league medals to upgrade. Like
it's very expensive, but you can probably upgrade them with potions as well. Now the important one,
right now
the unicorn. Let's see.
Too much, a little bit. Next pet is going to the unicorn. I have to say,
it has to heal. Unicorn follows and heals the hero. Okay, that's like a queen charging, whatever. But also for like RC, it can be strong. It doesn't do single target. Not okay. So this is perfect for queen charges. Heal 50. That's a healer. That's another healer. Like, but how does it stack with other healers? Is it like is the healer punishment? Will that be applied?
Pets, this pet somehow doesn't really fit to Clash of Clans. I have to say that it's pretty cool. Like the mechanic, I love this. This is like a personal healer for a hero. This means it's always going.
Okay, but it has to follow and it doesn't have range.
To heal the
so that's
hero which you
kinda bad.
Pairing it with. But if this hero dies, then it can go somewhere else. But still, it's going to heal this hero non-stop. But at the same time, it works the same way as a healer, which means if you're adding too many healers to this, all of the healing is going to be less effective. So
okay, so that's basically just completely not worth it. There's no reason to take this. I think
means is that if you're having 5 healers,
you can do airborne walks now. That might be interesting. You can have the airborne somewhere and get a nice funnel, and the unicorn will heal up the hero if you have enough time. This is like the unicorn is basically like the builder huts on defense now.
Like first 2 healers are going to be healed 100%, the next healer is less effective, and so on. So having a unicorn and a queen charge is actually not that great. The next thing is, which is pretty cool, you can heal air as well. So for example, if you have your air warden,
that's the best. I think that's the biggest thing, that you can heal up your air warden. I think this is really, really nice for backend heroes or like heroes that survive for a very long time. You sometimes see like Electro Dragon attacks or dragon attacks or whatever when the heroes kind of walk around the base for themselves and they survive for the whole attack basically because the E-Drags always tank for them. Usually on those attacks, heroes take very, very little damage and the unicorn can just equalize that, maybe on the king. But I just don't think it's that strong. Maybe it's maybe it can be strong in that occasion when you have like E-Drags or whatever. Maybe on the king on the outside for a hybrid attack, because basically the king just has to, it doesn't really need to do a lot of damage, just funnel and survive for as long as possible. That's the main reason for that. But yeah, I think it's not too strong on other attacks, but I can be completely wrong. But like 77 healing is not nothing. But especially for heroes when you don't pair them with healers, I think with healers that makes no sense. There are better pets like the yak or the owl. They are definitely better, in my opinion. Or like I haven't tried it yet, but that's my guess. But I think on Sui heroes this can be better. On like outside heroes this can be better. But the question is, does it work in defense as well?
The unicorn
that
is
would
going
be
to
quite
be ground.
interesting.
That's important to note. Those are the upgrade costs for the unicorn. This is the level 1, and now you can see the level 10 as well, just to compare this. And if you have no clue, like, and now you can see how much is the 77 heal on heroes. Like, is that a lot? Is that a lot or not? Well, this is
the perfect
the healers, and you can see
it's actually not nothing. It's more than a healer.
15 more than one healer. So that's a lot. So now obviously
but the thing is, now you can do queen charges with like 4 healers. It's like 14 troops. So this is worth 14 troop space. So now we have, or like a little bit more, like 16 troop space. So now we have a comparison, and let's say they are balanced. And I thought, like, to be honest, I think the unicorn is the worst one, or maybe the first one is the worst, but basically, like, unicorn is one of the worst. So let's say my guess with 15 is correct. So then this is basically 60 troop space.
If you do not always
and
want
that's
to search
so
for
much.
Your pet house, you can change the heroes, like the pets for the heroes in your army settings as well, like in your army.
Can you use? You have to use all of them, so you cannot just use
cool
the hound 3
you
times.
always have to search for the pet house, which is not
okay. So then it's actually
the
very
thing
nice
to have. But now let's talk a bit more about strategies. But before we're diving into that, I want to give you guys a small reminder. Those pets are only working on offense. That's important. It's
okay, not on defense.
only
That
an
was my question.
Tool,
perfect.
which get us later again back to the difficulty level of Th14 and the meta and everything. But for now, I think Queen Charge Lalo is going to be one of the strongest attack strategies in the game. The reason for that is obviously now the attack strategies are based on heroes.
Okay, so he completely swagged his pet there. There's nothing he got from it.
With those pets.
I don't really think that it makes sense to pair the hound with like the dog with the queen, because I mean you completely swag it anyways. It would die so quickly. So maybe prefer the unicorn. I think the owl is very strong with the queen, but with the warden as well. Maybe the yak with the queen, or if that doesn't work, the unicorn. But I think like it's like probably the best combination is Lassie. I think Lassie's the dog. Is it called Lassie? Lassie, yeah. I would say Lassie with RC. Then yak, or maybe like it highly depends on the strategy. But I think like the unicorn can be quite good with the queen as well, because then you can just save troop space. Or the all work with the queen. It depends on what you want to do with your king. So yeah, I think that's quite nice.
And obviously, if you're doing a
but
queen charge hyrule,
can
for
save
example,
wall breakers
how
as
should
well.
you use the owl? Because it's an air pet and it's getting targeted by air defense.
Oh, it's getting targeted by air defenses. That's interesting, because then you kind of have to use it in queen charges with the queen, because otherwise it will be. But will it trigger traps? That's the question.
Defenses, for example. How should you use that? That's not that easy. So I feel like Queen Charge Lalo is the perfect combination of air and ground, and abusing the overpowered healers at the moment. I feel like they're just straight up overpowered, because healers, the big counter with the super minions got moved out of the game basically with the huge nerf. So Queen Chargers have no counter anymore kinda in the game, and I think Queen Chargers are going to be incredible. So Queen Charge Lalo is just going to be insane.
I agree with him.
Think about it. First off,
Queen charges look very strong. Look at that Sui at the bottom side with just king and RC.
Then you have your
look how much he gets. Can you actually rage the pets?
The king can be like.
That would be interesting, because if you rage the unicorn,
king can wall break
that can be
any part of the base where you would
but
like
look what he gets at the bottom side.
And then you have even the royal champion with the pony, which means it's even more powerful. You should get even more value out of that.
Unicorn.
And then in addition, your
as a
queen
member of
die
Dark Unicorns, I'm taking that very serious.
So strong. So I feel like Queen Charges are going to be insane, especially Queen Charge Lalo, just because the
actually will the pony retarget to the queen? Oh my god! If you just swag your heroes very early, can you have 4 pets on your queen?
But at the same time, it's not the perfect pet combination just yet.
That would be so cool.
We're going to talk about that in just a second, but now let's take a look at this attack, because we're getting into the fun part where there's a lot of damage on that queen with the eagle, with a lot of expos, scatters whatsoever.
But there's like,
Lalo's now
look at the value.
Now starting as well. We have 1 minute.
But I mean, the base is not.
More than 1 minute left at this time.
Yeah.
So let's see how the Lalo works. We have the owl already attacking the first building.
See what the owl does. I'm looking at the owl.
Lalo with the owl is going to be incredible.
It's attacking the gold storage.
This owl can attack heroes as well.
I thought the owl attacks what the warden attacks.
The enemy queen.
Will the owl stay on the outside?
You can just easily take that out with the owl. That is pretty crazy. Either way, the Lalo ability, the owl is not.
That's kind of swagged.
Freezing everything up, making sure the headhunters are in there.
The owl doesn't really. It's cleanup. Well. Actually, it's cleanup. You save like 4 minions.
Well, just to make sure there is even a
and
bigger
you don't really have time
the
for
queen
it.
Ability at the bottom side, just to make sure that she's surviving the enemy king. And this base is completely wrecked. It is gone. It is not there anymore. Few more runes for the back end. We have one wizard to make sure that the cleanup is even going faster. And this base is just straight up gone. And that was a max Th14 with the clan cars and everything. So you can see already it's a pretty strong strategy. But now we're getting to the strongest pet combination right now in the game.
He always pairs like I said, Lassie with RC, Owl with then the other three can probably be used on with everything, but I think you can save wall breakers basically for the queen, so you can do Sui heroes with whatever. I think dragons will be giga strong because hero spec and they're just so strong. It's like basically your army is not doing the major part anymore. It's like you take armies are more like Suis right now, I feel like, because heroes are so strong they can take out the half of the base. You have a blimp that can take out half of, or like let's say 20% of the base. Your Zeps can take out 20% of the base. So basically, there's not much for heroes left. I mean, obviously that's a little bit too much, and yeah, whatever. You can not actually take out half of the base on every base with a Sui, but
in my opinion. Let's talk
really,
about
really
this a bit
strong.
more. First off, I'm using like kind of like I think it's going to be pretty strong. I'm using my own blimp, like with the raged super minions, with the clone super minions, and the invisible super
his
minions.
own strategy.
Like it is so strong. It is so cool. It's something new.
He
which I
really wants
enjoy.
to establish the clone super minions.
I don't think it's going to be crazy.
But
obviously,
I'm not
maybe
sure
there
if
are
that's
more
actually worth it,
powerful
because you
blimps
can
out
just
there in that
electron and
sense,
you
but
get
at
the
same
same
time, I feel
value.
like
So like
this one is kind of like
or you can have super
always
wizards
strong
in there.
because you do not need to get in
at
one
least the same
specific
value.
compartment. It
I mean,
can't
he
be
got
really
the
countered
Eagles where
by
you wouldn't have
giant
gotten
bombs
it
like
with
the
super
wizard
minions,
blimp,
but with super wizards. But you could have cloned loons there, and then you get the same value. So I mean, it's nice to have super minions cloned, but I'm not sure if that's actually much better than, for example, Electron or whatever. You can have like Inferno Dragon and clone the other loons, and then you have like 14 loons flying there with the rage. So that's definitely at least the same value. But I think it can be there can be an occasion where super minions are better than Electron or whatever.
Because we know there's going to be a lot of multi-inferno towers.
He always says we know that there will be a lot of multi-inferno towers, but at the moment I'm thinking like queen charges will be OP as hell. Why don't we build single ITs? And I mean, I think witches got hurt a lot. I think you can just have one multi-IT or like two multi-IT, like one multi-IT and two singles, and you're completely fine.
Bring a heal.
Because like the Town Hall got buffed as well.
Because that's exactly the reason why this is so strong. This is the perfect pet synergy with the heroes. First off, you have the king with the unicorn. Why exactly is that so broke?
Yeah, because the king has so much HP.
Well, as long as the king is only walking around the base, which he needs to do when you're doing a dragon attack, there's never a lot of damage on this king, which means this pony, and we already saw that this pony is healing more than a normal healer, can like keep up the king forever, because there's never going to be a huge burst damage as long as you're not going into a lot of heroes, single inferno towers and things like that. The king just can't die. And
okay, we agree on that one.
Just to make things even stronger, you have the queen with the yak in behind, because the yak is going to open up every compartment where you would like to go to. And then to make things even stronger, you have the royal champion with the new Lassie. And this is just incredible. Take a look.
RC with
the
Lassie
and the
is
town
pretty
like
strong.
Only the top side had to go down by our dragons. After that,
look at
we
what the heroes get.
Don't care about what our dragons can do.
That's insane.
Because take a look at the yak. Take a look at the queen. The yak is opening up the wall.
You can even charge with that yak thing, and it's completely broken.
Gone. It's just insane.
It's
now
actually
we're
broken.
Back to the
I
point
think.
which I was talking about, and that's the meta. I would have said, without the pets, just with everything up to Sneak Peek 3, I think the balance on Th14 would have been great. It would have been a challenge for all of the pro players. Obviously, casual players I feel like for them would have been a bit harder, but still, in my opinion, before that it was a great balance for pros. That's all what I'm saying. And now it's going to be more like Th13 again, which is good and bad at the same thing. Bad for pros and good for all of the casuals. So if you were out there and we're saying, oh, it's too, I think I can never triple again.
Okay, so the problem, he's definitely right with that one. The balance was, in my opinion, okay. It was it wasn't completely impossible to triple, but it was a little bit harder to triple than it is now. But with the pets, it looks like to be honest, these pets look very, very broken. I mean, the Yak looks broken. The Owl looks pretty strong, but Lassie, I think I underestimated Lassie, because Lassie with RC is actually quite strong. And when you just have 3 heroes plus 3 pets, that's very, very, very strong. And you can have like your Yak can maybe even like I'm thinking right now, what if the Yak replaces your lock launcher in some spam attacks? I mean, he didn't even show a single spam attack. Why? What's the reason for that? Maybe he tested it out and it's not so strong anymore. But I think like even spam attacks will have a huge benefit from this. Like Unicorn can be paired with maybe RC in that case, and Lassie just helps with the spam. Yak opens up everything, or like Unicorn with the King on the outside on spam, and Lassie with RC again. I think that can be a very, very strong combination. I don't really have an idea how to build against that at the moment, and I think it's very, very strong. Like, I have to see how the Yak exactly works, but I will figure this out off screen maybe and see and look the video through, because I will definitely need a little bit more time. And then when the update finally drops, I will definitely grind this as hell and see how the Mighty Yak works and how you can maybe counter it. But at the moment, it looks really, really difficult to actually build against this, because, yeah, but I don't really see like this thing that will counter everything right now, or like the big thing that you play around. Like at the moment, you play around your Inferno towers and like your core multi in many cases, and basically around your splash damage. But I feel like splash damage is always very, very vulnerable to heroes and strong units that are like strong single units, like a Queen Charge or like a Sui or whatever. And I feel like with Queen Charges being that strong and taking away that element of countering it with walls and whatever, it will be even stronger. Like you have to, maybe you can have a look for the Mighty Yak with your heroes, so you make heroes just slightly cover the wall, so if the Yak goes there, for example, the Queen will shoot at the Yak, but I'm not sure how that will work with the attacking Queen. Will the attacking Queen then go for the defending Queen, which would be kind of bad, because then you get the Queen out for free very, very early when the Queen is on your Yak. So basically, how can we optimize defenses so they do the most damage to like pets and everything? Because like you I think this will be even more difficult than Th14, because like it's so many new, or like so many troops again, and so much power, and I think you don't really have the defenses to defend that. I think especially in the first few days, this will be very, very difficult to defend. I'll definitely keep an eye on other builders and all the pros and whatever, and see what they do. I will test this as soon as it goes live. This will cost a lot of Dark Elixir. I'm not sure which hero I will pet I will prefer. Probably the Yak, but it depends on what changes. If it always needs 3 hits for a wall, then I will not invest so much resources in it early. But I think like Lassie and Electro can be strong as well. I think all of them can be strong. Maybe Electro does the fewest, because like it's not really, like the damage is not important. It's just important that it does damage to multiple targets, so like Skellies or whatever. So I think like Lassie, Unicorn, Mighty Yak will be the first to upgrade, but I can be completely wrong at that one. So maybe let's see what I will talk maybe to other pros and see what they think about it, and definitely test it first. But yeah, this is it for now. I hope I could give you some insights on what I look on and what I think about the pets and how maybe to defend them. I don't really see anything immediately. Like, I mean, more single ITs. Maybe have heroes to cover some pet angles, but I don't really see how you can punished it with the owl. I don't really see how you can punish it with the unicorn because they always stay behind the hero, so you cannot really punish that. It highly depends on if they can get triggered, or like if they can trigger traps. If they can trigger like spring traps, then this can be a lot easier. If they can trigger a black mine, then it's obviously pretty easy again. But yeah, this is it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.